welcome to Pale Blue Pod, the astronomy podcast for people who are overwhelmed by the universe but still want to be its friend. I'm your host. I'm Dr. Moiya McTier. I'm an astrophysicist and a folklorist and a good buddy to the universe. Although the universe has thrown me a little cold this week, you're going to hear it in my voice. But today, I am joined by a very special guest. I'm joined by my little brother, although we might as well be twins. We have tricked people into thinking that we're twins before. I'm joined by my little brother, Noah.
Hi, guys. My name is Noah McTier. The universe also kind of threw me a cold, but really it's just the twin aspect for real. You know,
we're so linked.
Exactly. We go through it all together. But no, we are not actually twins. I am 8 years younger, something like that.
Yeah, but our birthdays are around the same time, so this episode is coming out during our joint birthday season as a little treat to both of us.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Happy birthday! It's good to see you.
Great to be here.
See, this is the thing about long-distance siblings, right? I'm up here in New York. Noah's down in Florida, but we got to meet for this very special episode. Noah, where are we recording today?
Yeah, we are recording today at my hometown wing bar. It's actually where my sister and I went right before my graduation when she came to visit. Y'all don't understand how cool she is, because she really hopped on a train to come all the way to little old me's graduation.
I would not have missed that graduation for the world. Also, you told me about it like 2 years in advance. You were like, this is the date.
That's also
set your calendar.
True. That's also true. But you still showed up, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's love. That's love right there.
Love.
Yeah, I love this wing spot. It's a happening spot, but we're in the corner, so we have some privacy, and it's not terrible to record. But, you know, it's a lively joint.
Absolutely.
It's nice in here.
We love these, like, it's like that rounded table in the corner, so, like, you can actually, like, scoot all the way around. It's pretty cool.
So today, from this rounded booth in the corner, we're going to be talking about faster-than-light travel. And this is something that you picked as a topic, Noah. Why?
So I am a nerd through and through.
You get it honestly. It's a genetic thing.
It's a genetic thing. But for me, I love Star Wars, Star Trek, all of those like sci-fi based storytelling. And a lot of like one of the main things they'll say is something about hyperspace or warp speed, like traveling through faster than light. So I kind of was curious, like, what's the logistics on that? Like, what about it is real? Why is that the device that's always used?
Oh, yeah. Do you have a favorite method of these, like, transport things that you see in sci-fi?
I mean, for me, it's probably Star Wars. The concept of hyperspace is, I think that's just what I'm used to.
Are you picking that because you know I haven't seen Star Wars?
I mean, that could be it. That could be it.
Fair enough. So the hyperspace thing that Star Wars does, as far as I know from my little research, has to do with like slipping into parallel dimensions, which right now is like a completely hypothetical thing that like we know even less about than the other types of faster than light travel. So today we're mostly going to be talking about warp drives and wormholes, and then some types of faster than light communication, which is like slightly different than faster than light travel. But before we get to all of that, you, just like all of the other people who come through the show, have to take the prelim exam, so we know how to place you at Pale Blue Podiversity.
Okay, that's fine. I'm ready. The pen, I'm ready.
You brought out like the little golf pencil.
Hey, but I have it though. I'm ready.
The number 2 pencil, you are prepared for a standardized test.
Absolutely.
You know, this is not a written exam, and there are also no right or wrong answers.
Okay, good.
Yeah, although as your sister, I will mock you if you say anything silly.
Well, Professor Sister, I think I'm ready. Sorry, Dr. Sister.
Dr. Professor Sister, we can do that.
Dr. Professor Sister. Okay.
Oh, I'm so going to use this against you later.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the first question, I'm starting off easy. How would you describe your current relationship status with the universe?
I mean, if I had to label it as like a Facebook like relationship update, it would have to be it's complicated. Because
Hmm.
I'm 21. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. But
Nor should you yet.
okay, that's good to hear. But I have to consider that the universe has given me the opportunity to work out some of the things that I messed up on. And
Ooh.
honestly, it was a rough start to the year, but things are looking up now. So I'd probably say it's complicated. My actual knowledge of the universe extends basically to physics 2,
Hmm.
because I am in college, for those of you who don't know, which I guess would be all of you who don't know.
Right. You're new to them. You can
Yeah,
choose to share as much information about yourself as you want.
yeah. So for me, my extent on the universe's knowledge is what I learn in a physics classroom. So
And also what you gain through osmosis from me, right? Like when
true.
we're around each other.
Yeah, the hive mind takes over.
It's that twin connection.
My big sister really just becomes Google. Because, like, why ask the internet something when I have, like, the bio version of the internet a phone call away?
True. True. You do that sometimes. That's really nice.
I do. I do. I just want you to feel included.
Thank you. And I do. Mission accomplished.
Nice.
Question 2. I'm actually really interested to hear your answer to this because for those of you who don't know, again, which is all of you, Noah is an engineering major. So you might actually have a favorite equation. Do you?
As much as I hate to bring it up, it probably is the quadratic formula. Because it's the one I see the most often. I'm about to step into Calc 3. I know I'm not parting with it. And I'm about to enter like more of my engineering courses. So I know it's going to be there. But it's like the devil you know. It's reliable. Well, maybe not right now because the semester's over, but like during a college semester, I can just write it out, no issue. It's in my brain all
Yeah.
the time.
Okay. It's your go-to.
It's the
The
go-to.
comfort equation.
It's old reliable.
What, there aren't any like bridge tension equations that just really get you going?
No, because see, those aren't fun, and also like CAD software usually just handles those ones for me. I outsource. I'm a giver. I give the equations to other people or the internet.
I'm sure the computer programs really appreciate that gift that you provide.
I hope they do. I enjoy giving it to them, so I don't have to.
So we're basically twins. Our birthdays are really close together. I do know your sun zodiac sign. Do you feel like your zodiac sign fits who you are as a person?
So just so for clarification, it is Capricorn.
Yes.
Cool. See,
yes,
guys,
we are both Capricorns. We got that in common.
I knew this. To my knowledge, I remember I hear stereotypically that Capricorns are very analytical, and I feel like that does match with me pretty well. Probably ties into my major. I like numbers. I like factual information because like it holds people accountable. So I'd say I'm that aspect of it, but I don't know much about our zodiac sign.
I think you are way too extroverted. I think that you're too much of a yapper, and I think that you understand other people too well to really be a true Capricorn.
I take listen, because I'm doing it for the both of us. You also are social. I think I just do it more.
Yes. So you are like recreationally and professionally social. And I can talk to people when there's a paycheck on the line.
And when it matters, it matters. So
It matters. Otherwise, please let me be in my bed with Cosmo. That's all I want.
Listen, I'm not against that, but Cosmo doesn't like me. I don't understand why. I don't know what I did. I tried for an entire week to get that cat to like spend any sort of time with me. Avoided me like the plague, y'all.
A week isn't long enough. No, you got to put in the time. This is 10,000 hours worth of cat affection.
All right. So what I'm hearing is I need to book a flight. Understood.
Yes, there you go.
All right.
Noah, what do you think is the best planet?
I mean, I feel like it's biased to say Earth, but Earth is the life of the party. It's got everything going on. I know it's the safe option, but like, take a look at what's around us. There's chaos, but everything's chaotic in a sense. But the beauty is there.
So true.
Like, look at a lake and just think about all that it took for that lake to exist in the world. It's great.
You're really looking beyond the surface.
Yeah.
You're seeing the Earth as it has been and could be.
Yeah. Like, as someone who does have their face buried in numbers pretty much like 10 of the 12 months of the year, I do take the time to like be at peace, like enjoy the surroundings. Granted, you caught me because, you know, I was able to take this time because the semester's over. Catch me on one of those semester months. Earth probably isn't my favorite planet because I probably want to be anywhere else but here. But Earth is probably
like, I'm
my
going
favorite.
to Pluto. That's far away.
Exactly. But no, I'd have to say Earth.
I respect it. All right, Noah. Imagine you are an astronaut. You are in your rocket, in the command module. You're strapped in. You're about to blast off into space. You get control over the aux cord. What are you playing on the speakers?
Now, this is gonna sound random because you know what music I listen to, but I feel like this would just be completely different. Thunderstruck would have to be a good option.
You did not have to say that right after I took a drink.
I purposely waited until you were sipping on it.
Because I was not expecting that at all. What? I didn't even know you knew who AC/DC was.
I'm a multifaceted person, sister. You know, you learn something new every day. There you go.
There we go.
I know who they are.
Okay, so what is it about Thunder? Like, why would you enjoy that as you're taking off in a rocket ship?
I think something about like just as the thrusters are roaring, and then you just hear Thunderstruck real loud in the background. It just matches well. Like, it's not even the type of music I typically listen to, but like R&B is not matching the vibe of jettisoning into space.
Yeah. Special occasions call for special playlists.
Exactly. Thunderstruck just feels right.
You know, there actually is something to that. When I go on a trip to someplace really new, I like to listen to a new playlist of music. And that way in the future, whenever I listen to those specific songs, it will remind me of that trip.
That's
and not
fair.
any other time.
Okay. Yeah.
We have 2 more questions on the quiz.
All right.
The next is, what do you think is scarier than a black hole?
So the joke answer, differential equations, because that course is going to kill me. But genuinely, probably for me, silence. I am, as you know, a yapper.
Certified.
Indeed. Low key, I'm going for my PhD in it, but we'll see. No, I guess I should minor in it first. Civil engineering major, minor in yap. But I just went through a situation where I was dealing with people who are not yappers, and that is terrifying for me because I don't ever want to like make people feel uncomfortable with how much I talk. So I usually try to like put myself around people who also enjoy talking.
Yeah.
So when I'm around people who don't speak, I'm kind of nervous. So I'd probably say that's scarier.
Yeah, that's real. As a non-yapper, I will say I often really appreciate the yappers being around, especially in social settings, because they can take on what to me seems like really laborious task of doing the talking. That's
fair. That's why our dynamic works so well. I order the food and then you pay for it.
Yes, it's a beautiful symbiosis that we have.
Indeed.
All right, one more question. This one, I had nothing to do with putting together this quiz. This is coming right from the president of the Podiversity. And I haven't even looked at the question yet, but I'm going to open it now. And the president of the Podiversity would like to know, from your perspective, what it's like to have the coolest, smartest, most awesomest older sister in the world.
And that's just random. Like, it's a randomized question for each person.
That's just random.
I mean, honestly, y'all, I'm sure some of y'all have family members, and I'm sure they're great. But they cannot compete with my big sister. Because one, if y'all are watching this, you clearly understand the talent and the dedication my sister puts in to everything she does. But she also puts it into like her life. Like, anything she does go in 100%. You think she likes me all the time? No. But like, she's still there.
I love you so much always, though.
Oh, yeah. But she's there to support me. She's there to listen to me yap, even though she is not a yapper herself. I couldn't ask for anybody better to be my big sister?
I have to have a word with the dean because that was such an inappropriate question to put on this quiz. It really it got me in my feelings.
It's okay.
But thank you. Thank
Of course.
you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank
just to
you.
have like a cute little moment here on mic. But no, you have really grown up so much in the last few years. It's been really nice to see.
Thank you.
And I love you and I'm proud of you.
I love you too. Chat, clip that. Clip that right there. I need that. That's a ringtone for me right there.
Yes. And here, I'll say it. Sometimes you are right.
Y'all, I don't think you understand. I'm never hearing that again. I'm never hearing that again.
That's right. That's why I put it on recording. You can keep it. You can cherish it because you're never hearing it again.
I know. I'm gonna listen. It's gonna serve as like my ASMR when I go to sleep at night. It's just gonna be, you're right. You're right. You're sometimes right.
There you go. Whenever you're having a bad day.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
All right. Well, you did excellently on this prelim exam of ours. You're going to fit in well at the Podiversity, especially in classes about travel, about communication, about gaining extra speed, which is what we're here to talk about today. What's the fastest you've ever gone?
So the fastest I've gone has definitely been in a car with our brother. Yeah. 129 miles an hour.
Our brother does love to speed. He has a lead foot for sure.
Indeed.
Okay. But you've been in a plane.
Yeah. So I was about to say, like, driving that fast, but I've been in planes before. That's probably the fastest I've gone is on a plane.
Yeah, that would make sense. As far as I know, you've never been in a rocket ship or on some sort of like ultra high speed railway or something. I looked up the fastest that a human has ever traveled. And according to our good friends at the Guinness Book of World Records, the fastest a human or a group of humans has ever gone was 24,800 miles per hour back during the Apollo 10 flight when they went around the moon but didn't like land on the moon. And that's really fast. And that's nowhere near the speed of light.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah. Almost 25,000 miles per hour. That's how fast they were moving, not the whole time that they were going around the moon, but
that's
that was
the
their max speed.
Okay.
Yeah, which is wild. We usually don't get to go very fast because it takes a lot of energy. And honestly, by the time you get really close to the speed of light, we call these relativistic speeds, weird things start to happen. I talked about this in the last episode on Einstein's theories of relativity, but just as a quick refresh, when you get even like to 10% the speed of light, things start to change. We call these Lorentz transformations or like relativistic transformations. So the closer you get to moving at the speed of light, the slower time moves for you, or like for people observing you. The smaller you get, so your length in the direction of motion actually contracts.
I'm already short, though.
So just make sure that you're standing upright as you move forward. And then you just get really, really skinny.
Weight Watchers has nothing on light speed travel, apparently.
Yes.
All right.
But also, the heavier you get, the faster you're moving. So you're going to be really skinny, but real heavy.
Well, I take that back. Weight Watchers, my fault.
Yeah, you're just getting ultra dense.
All right.
And so typically the only thing that can manage going through those Lorentz transformations is a massless object like a photon, which is a particle of light. They can zip around the universe at the speed of light without having any of these effects. We would love to also move very fast. We want to get to other stars. We want to get to other places in the solar system. We would like to communicate very fast. If we ever did send someone to the outer reaches of the solar system, for example, light speed means that our communication would take months, maybe even years, to get somewhere.
Hi, this is Moiya from the future with a quick fact-checking interjection. It would actually only take about 5 hours for any information in the form of light waves to reach the edge of our solar system, not months or years. But it would take a long time if we want to become an interstellar civilization one day.
And so we are not just thinking about faster than light travel, but also faster than light communication. One method for this is called quantum tunneling. Have you heard of quantum tunneling?
I feel like I've heard it, but I couldn't actually tell you what it means. I think I've just heard it in like nerd talk.
Yes. It sounds very nerd speak, like, oh, quantum tunneling. You do the equation. Yeah, that's how it
tunneling.
Sounds. You had to get the glasses out.
I did.
Quantum tunneling was first discovered in 1928. And basically what it means is that particles, tiny fundamental particles, can spontaneously, without warning, and at this point, kind of without explanation, pass through other objects, seemingly faster than if they were to travel the same distance normally. We discovered this actually probably in the 1930s, but no one was willing to publish those results until 1962, when someone finally put in a paper, hey, the amount of time that it takes particles to quantum tunnel is very short. It's way shorter than it should be. And that means that these particles are moving faster than we think anything can move. Sometimes they might even be able to move faster than the speed of light. And this really concerned people because for a long time, one of the basic tenets of physical sciences was that nothing can move faster than the speed of light. That's one of like the big outcomes of general and special relativity. But it was tested over and over again, and it does seem that, though we can't explain why, quantum tunneling can make particles move really fast. This isn't useful for transporting anything. We can't transport people through this, and we can probably not even transport any useful information through this, just because the things that are quantum tunneling are so small and maybe not like directable. But
it's still neat to know, because you gotta start somewhere.
Gotta start somewhere. Exactly. And so we started there back in almost 1930. And I maybe should have looked into this more, like whether it was science fiction driving the science development or vice versa. It was probably some confluence of the two. But the next thing I want to talk about is warp drives, which is definitely present in a lot of science fiction.
Definitely.
Like that is what I grew up with as a Star Trek fan. They have these warp coils and these warp drives that have different settings and can make you move at different speeds.
Yeah, just these random devices like, oh yeah, there's the engine, there's these fluid things. Oh, here's the magical machine that lets you go faster than light.
Yes. But I love that they tried to explain it, like they gave you something to explain how they could move so fast.
So like as a scientist, does it bother you like when you see like all these things where like on just like sci-fi stuff where like they just make up these random facts? Like, does that bother you, or is it more like you have fun pointing out like the inaccuracies?
I mean, this is kind of why I don't watch or read much sci-fi, because a lot of it does feel like work if I have to kind of pick apart the inaccuracies.
That's fair.
But I am really good at suspending my disbelief.
Oh, okay.
And at appreciating the world building that people do. Like if Star Trek, for example, had their characters traveling across the galaxy in tiny amounts of time, like if they could clearly travel faster than the speed of light, but they never addressed it at all, that would make me mad. But the fact that they just added in this one thing that they know doesn't exist yet, but like that's the joy of science fiction.
Okay.
That to me makes it totally acceptable.
Okay, cool.
Hey friends, Noah went to go build a bridge outside. I'm such a proud older sister, so I figured I would take this time to share some messages with you. The first is a show recommendation. It's another show in the Multitude Collective, and it is called Join the Party. Join the Party is an actual play podcast with tangible worlds, genre-pushing storytelling, and collaborators who make each other and the listeners laugh each week. The DM is Eric, and he's joined by emphatic players Amanda, Brandon, and Julia, and together they welcome everyone to the table, from longtime TTRPG players to folks who have never touched a role-playing game before and didn't even know that's what RPG stood for. You can hop into their current campaign, which is a pirate story set in a world of plant and bug folk. It's so cute, and they built it themselves. Or you can marathon their completed stories with the Campaign, a Monster of the Week game set in a weird summer camp. Their second campaign was a modern superhero game, and their first was a high fantasy story for fans of the classics. And once a month, they release the After Party, where they answer questions about the show and how they play the game, which is why they can say everyone is welcome welcome to join the party. So what are you waiting for? Pull up a chair and search for Join the Party in your favorite podcast app, or go to jointhepartypod.com. That link is also down in this episode's description. Okay, my second message is a big thank you to all of the patrons who support my show financially. I couldn't make this show without you, and I appreciate you so much. But I have a special place in my heart for all of my main sequence stars. I'm talking about Scott Reynolds, Augustin, Tom T, Mark Mahoney, and Nicole Bartlett. You're all golden and amazing, and you're holding down our stellar system with your gravity, so thank you so much. You, if you aren't already a patron, can join this amazing group of people who support my independent podcast. I'm just doing it here alone, folks. So I could really use your support every single month to pay my editor and make sure that I can keep making Pale Blue Pod a thing. For just about $1 per episode, everyone gets research notes for every episode except some of the movie ones. But if you join at higher tiers, you can get access to Pale Blue Pod at Night, where I'm reading calm stories to help you relax and maybe fall asleep. And higher tiers get unabridged videos of these guest interviews. So you can join at patreon.com/palebluepod for just about $1 per episode. And if you can't join because you can't support me financially right now, that's totally fine. I love you and you're still space. The best way to help the show grow is to send a link to a specific episode to someone who you think will like it, because word of mouth recommendations are really powerful. All right, that's all I have. Noah built that bridge in record time, so let's get back to talking about faster than light travel.
Do you have any idea like how warp drives would work?
Like, practically, like in real life?
Like what is the mechanism? If hyperspace is you like slip into a parallel dimension, and quantum tunneling is tiny little particles that can like almost magically pass through a solid object, do you have any inkling how warp drives might work? Not the science, but like what's the function?
Like the only thing I can think of is like maybe it like covers the vessel in said particles, or it finds a way to like maybe vibrate the vessel itself so that it's turned into those particles.
Ooh. Oh, okay, I love that. That's not what it is at all, but that is cool, and we should make a sci-fi thing that does that. It just vibrates you so fast that you essentially turn into massless particles that can travel at the speed of light in one continuous group.
There was an attempt. I tried. So what does it actually do?
But let's put a pin in that. So warp drives, as they've been discussed in science fiction and in real scientific literature, warp space-time itself. That's why they're called warp drives. So they're essentially doing what mass already does by curving space-time in on itself, but on a much bigger and more intentional scale. As the ship is moving through space, a warp drive would scrunch up the space in front of the ship so that you have like more of the fabric of space-time, but in less space, technically, because you've like bunched it up. And then behind you, kind of to balance that out, you stretch out or expand the fabric of space-time behind you.
Oh.
And so from an external perspective, it does look like you are moving faster than the speed of light. But from your own internal perspective, you don't actually move through that much space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very similar to the wormhole theory, where like people describe wormholes with the piece of paper that you fold in half. But this is more like you've folded the paper so that it's an accordion with many layers in front of you.
Okay. No, I can, the visual helps. The visual certainly helps. Okay.
Excellent. Scientists thought of warp drives for the first time in 1994. This is after Star Trek. A scientist, Miguel Alcubierre, published a letter to the editor of the journal Classical and Quantum Gravity. This is like a well-respected journal. So that paper was called The Warp Drive, Hyperfast Travel Within General Relativity. So they're trying to use Einstein's theories because we've tested those and they seem to really work. So we want to find something within that same framework that can get us faster than the speed of light. And what he said, he and his team, was that if you could take something with the mass of Jupiter and convert all of that mass 100% into energy, that is how much energy it would take to create a warp drive, to actually bunch up the space in front of you. But you would need like a very special type of matter to do that. He noted in the letter that exotic matter will be needed to generate a distortion of space-time, and exotic matter is something that acts kind of the opposite of matter here in our universe. So it has an opposite gravity effect. So something like dark energy, which is actively expanding our universe. It kind of seems like the opposite of gravity, which pulls things together. Or something like antimatter, which for a long time we thought might experience opposite effects from gravity. But in 2023, physicists discovered for the first time that antimatter does not fall up in a gravitational well. It actually falls down just like normal matter. And so...
Oh, so this is recent.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
2023, we're still actively looking for stuff that could power a warp drive or a wormhole.
That's actually pretty cool. So what I'm hearing is someone's building a spaceship that can go through these.
People are trying.
That's going to be cool. I hope to see that.
I hope you do too. You're so much younger than me. You're gonna live so much longer.
Yeah, of course.
So in 2023, we realized that antimatter probably cannot power a warp drive. It's not the exotic matter that Alcubierre was looking for. But last year in 2024, a team out of the University of Alabama in Huntsville created a new theoretical model. So it's all just based on math at this point. But the model says that there might be a way to power a warp drive without antimatter. It was published in that same Journal of Quantum and Classic Gravity. And they're like theorizing other types of matter that could power it. But their version without antimatter wouldn't be able to reach faster than light speeds. It would just be able to go like a lot faster than our current spaceships can go.
Okay. That's still awesome, though.
It is. Yeah, so potentially, warp drives could be a thing still. Like, the jury's not out on warp drives.
Okay, this is cool. See, I knew being a nerd was worth it. Because at some point, it's not even going to be fake. It's just going to be maybe slightly less cool because it's not as we were doing our best with just guessing what the science would actually be, but that's still like pretty awesome.
It is. And the fact that these breakthroughs were coming so recently does give me hope that maybe there will be some other breakthrough soon.
Okay.
Are you ready to hear about wormhole? Or do you have any other questions about warp drives before we move on to wormholes?
I suppose not. I do want to know about wormholes.
Yes. Wormholes, aka Einstein-Rosen bridges. Have you heard that term?
I have heard that. It's been discussed in class a time or two.
Oh, awesome. Really? Like, in what context?
I guess the context was the professor that taught my physics course was also going to be teaching like a theoretical physics course. And he was like, if you were interested in my class, this next class, we would talk about things such as, and he was listing just a couple of things, and I remember him bringing up, like, Einstein-Rosen bridge.
Yeah, it has a really memorable ring to it, I think.
It just sounds so, like, intriguing.
It does. It does. It's a wormhole. That's basically what it is. So back in 1915, when Einstein published his theory of general relativity, which is the gravity one, after the theory of special relativity, which was all about, like, light.
Okay.
That led people to predict the existence of black holes. There was this guy named Schwarzschild who looked at the equations in Einstein's general relativity, and he solved the equations, and one of the solutions was a singularity of almost infinite density, and that is a black hole. But a year later, I think an Austrian scientist named Ludwig Flamm, Flamm, I'm a big fan of, he was looking at Schwarzschild's solutions to Einstein's equations, and he realized that there's actually like another solution. It's not exactly the same as when you are taking the square root of something. There's a negative and positive root, but it's kind of like that, where in these equations there was like a positive solution and there was a negative solution. And the negative solution was the white hole. A white hole is like the theoretical opposite of a black hole, where instead of taking in everything and including information and not letting anything out, a white hole is constantly ejecting things.
Oh, okay.
So that was in 1916, 1917. Almost 20 years later, in 1935, Einstein and a fellow physicist, Nathan Rosen, were trying to reconcile general relativity and this almost like newer field of quantum mechanics and quantum physics. So trying to match the really, really big scales with the really, really small scales. And this would be on the way to being like the grand unified theory that a lot of people are looking for.
Okay.
But while they were trying to connect these two scales, one of them, I can't remember if it was Einstein or Rosen, they proposed a bridge, this hypothetical connection between sufficiently dense regions in space. And like maybe one end is a black hole and the other end is a white hole, or maybe one end is a white hole and you can create something like an ingress point at the other end just with a big enough, massive enough object that can warp space-time. But these kind of naturally occurring Einstein-Rosen bridges would not be traversable, so people couldn't travel through them because they're really unstable. They should close almost as soon as they open up, and they're probably really, really small, like a tiny fraction of an inch wide, so really not useful. But in 1987, Kip Thorne, who is now probably best known for being the science advisor on the movie Interstellar, he wrote a paper with another physicist named Michael Morris. They published it in the American Journal of Physics, and they claimed that there were some conditions under which a wormhole could actually carry humans. So they were some of the first to reasonably or plausibly predict the existence of traversable wormholes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to that paper analogy, right? Imagine the universe is flat as far as astronomers have figured out, which basically just means that there is not enough mass in the existing universe, and it's not like clumped together enough to curve the universe in on itself. So we say that the universe is flat and not curved. Exactly. You have a piece of paper. Love this. On especially like local scales, if you have a massive enough object, it will distort that fabric of space-time. It can curve it a little bit. And if you curve it enough, it kind of bends in on itself and folds. Yes. And if you can create like an energetic thing, you can create a bridge, an Einstein-Rosen bridge, between these 2 points on the fabric of space-time. There is some unfortunate vocabulary here because say you like actually created a bridge, say you poked a pen or something through the sheet of paper, the pen would be the wormhole.
Okay.
The holes in the paper that you have just stabbed through, those are going to be called the horizons of the wormhole.
Okay.
And like the ingress and egress parts where you go in and exit the wormhole are unfortunately called the throat of the wormhole.
I feel some type of way about having to, like, arguably one of my best chances of living Star Wars in real life is traversing the throat of something.
Yes.
They
didn't have to do that.
Wow. Tunnel.
It could have been a tunnel. Yes. That would have been so much better than throat.
It would have been way better than throat.
Yeah. So I'm going to use their terminology.
Yes.
As I list Kip Thorne and Michael Morris's conditions.
I'll only laugh a little bit.
Because you're a mature adult.
No.
Look, I took a galactic physics class very early in the day when I was in grad school at like 9:30 a.m., which for astronomers is early. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I was able to stay awake in that class was because every time the professor talked about the galactic bulge, I would giggle a little bit and it would wake me up.
Listen, you gotta do what you gotta do. Mm-hmm. That's why I avoid early classes.
That's wise. Yeah, I think one semester you didn't have any Friday classes at all, and I was like, yes.
It was so good. It was so good, because I would finish up on Thursday, and then I would go to sleep. It was bad for the start of that semester, because I would wake up in a panic thinking I'm late for something, and then I would just realize, like, the rush of relief, and I was like, oh, wait, I'm free.
Free. I'm free for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So according to these two scientists, Thorne and Morris, a wormhole could carry a human if the wormhole possessed a throat at which there is no horizon. I know. So basically what they're saying, what I think they're saying is that you could only traverse this wormhole if one of the ends isn't a black hole.
So,
because the black holes have the like event horizons that would be difficult or dangerous to traverse.
So like a one-way street almost? Like entrance one side, exit the other? Or am I understanding it wrong?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think maybe, but it could potentially go two ways. Okay. It depends on what's at the other end, I think.
That's fair.
So like if one end of the wormhole has a black or white hole, that will determine if it's an entrance or an exit. A white hole is an exit, a black hole is an entrance. But the other end of the throat has to be open, is what Kip Thorne is saying.
But then that poses the question, is it better to be exiting the throat or entering the
You didn't know. I don't think you realized what you were saying until you said it.
No, I didn't. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Didn't expect this to be in our episode about faster than light travel, but
I'm sorry, listeners. I'm sorry.
I think it just depends on what you're trying to do with the situation.
Okay.
So that's one condition. And then they started calculating the amount of pressure and like energy that it would take to keep the wormhole stable, the side of the throat that doesn't have the horizon.
Right.
Yes. The second condition is that outwards pressure at the wormhole throat that holds it open must be greater than the typical pressure at the center of a neutron star, which is one of the densest objects in the universe. We're talking immense pressure pushing outwards, keeping the throat clear. And then the third condition is that the material that's used to generate the wormhole. Remember, wormholes are created when you have a dense enough object that can curve space-time back in on itself.
Okay.
The material used to make that has to have some unearthly density. A quote that I pulled from Kip Thorne and Michael Morris's paper says, "It is not possible today to rule out firmly the existence of such material." But it is really hard to find. Like they have not had much success finding a material this dense.
But technically, because the universe is so giant, they can't rule it out. Is that kind of the argument being made?
Yes.
Okay. See, we almost made it through one full point without laughing about the word throat.
I think it's because I didn't say throat in that third point.
You know what?
Yeah.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. So basically the conclusion at the end of that paper, and kind of more recently as Kip Thorne has done more and more work with black holes and wormholes, he says, quote, "There are very strong indications that wormholes that a human could travel through are forbidden by the laws of physics." And he doesn't seem very optimistic that we'd ever be able to travel through wormholes. But theoretically, if we were to find this magical material, this magical dense material, it could happen.
Did they try looking underneath the couch? I lose things there all the time.
And in the freezer.
The freezer, yeah. Behind the washing machine.
Oh, yeah, that's like a little vortex back there.
Because that's where I'd be finding my socks.
That's where the pixies leave them after they're stolen. Any questions about wormholes?
Other than the choice of wording, which I don't think you have an answer for. Yeah, I don't think I have anything.
Yeah, this is a consistent problem in astrophysics. I don't know if it's that we're so nerdy that we truly don't realize what we're doing, or we're so nerdy, this is the only way we can get close to this type of material. But it's a problem.
Maybe it's like a way to like intrigue non-scientists into the field, like, because you guys got to eventually tell us about this stuff, so you put in like these keywords just to like bring us back to life in the lectures.
You're right. Maybe that's a generous interpretation. Before we wrap up, I have some like would you rather questions, because I'm curious how your brain is thinking about this situation.
Okay.
Would you rather be able to travel instantaneously through space or time?
I think, assuming I could do it safely, I would have to say space. If I'm being honest, there's not much in the past that would excite me. Like, what has happened has already happened, and the things I would want to change would only be like in the past couple years. But I'm very much one of those people who's like, my choices made me who I am. Although it would be kind of cool to visit other places in different times, but who can pass the opportunity, or like who can miss out on the opportunity to like travel space?
Yeah, teleportation is pretty persuasive.
Yeah.
Also, if you had picked travel through time and you go back to the past, you end up in, say, like the year 1223, but exactly where you left. And back then, it was a lot harder to travel around, so you wouldn't really get to explore the world in the 1200s.
Yeah, and more dangerously, I'm on the 3rd floor of an apartment building. I don't think I'm surviving a fall from, 30 feet in the air. Like, I'm going to land on my neck.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even think about that part. I would have let you go outside first.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yes, I'm very benevolent with my travel power granting. Would you rather be a bee or a worm?
I mean, I feel like I hear about bees, like once they sting somebody once, they die.
Yep.
I talk a lot of trash, and I feel like that would be the equivalent of like trash talk. I think I'm going to have to say worm, because I got to live after I talk my trash.
Cool. Those were just the critters that I associated with these two types of faster than light travel, and so I just wanted to know. I think I would go bee.
Why?
Because I would rather fly than crawl through the dirt.
That's fair.
Also, they can see in the ultraviolet. Flowers would look really cool, and I would like to be a part of the natural ecosystem in a pollinating sort of way.
That's actually really cool, now that I think about it.
But worms are great. They fertilize.
They give back.
They aerate.
They give back to the environment.
Mm-hmm. There's no wrong answer.
There's no wrong answer. But is it too late to change mine?
We can both be bees.
Yeah.
I'll even protect you when all the other lady bees try to kick you out of the hive.
I love that. My big sister looks out for me, even when we're bees.
Even when we're bees? Would you still look out for me if I were a bee?
Of course.
Okay, I guess this is less of a would you rather, but the Venn diagram overlap between faster than light travel and Irish folklore, which is one of my personal passions, is time dilation. So, if given the opportunity, would you go on a 5-year trip if you knew that 500 years would pass here while you're gone?
5-year trip? A trip to where? Where am I going?
Oh, that makes a difference. Okay,
it does.
To either a very cool sci-fi planet or the most magical Fey realm you can imagine.
I mean, an epic vacation and technically time travel, and I get to choose the destination. Yeah, I'd do it.
Yeah, you do it, even though everyone and everything you know will die while you're gone?
I mean, I know that makes me sound like a terrible person, but that is truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I'm also just assuming I'd have the opportunity to make peace with that decision. I would get to say goodbye to everybody before I leave. I'm making that assumption, but if it's as soon as I accept I teleport, well, I mean, they're gone. I can't apologize anyway, so.
You love them while you had them.
Indeed.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gone immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't come back. I walk out every day hoping that I'm going to be magically transported to a fairy kingdom somewhere. In a heartbeat.
I would take care of Cosmo for you. Don't even worry about it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned that I didn't think about that.
It's fine. We're locked in because you already knew I would take care of your cat. It's all good.
You're right. That's love.
Indeed.
Oh, well, Noah, this has been such a pleasure. I'm really happy that the listeners now know my twin little brother. What else would you like the listeners to know about you? What you got going on?
So I have turned into a busy person. I am pursuing my degree in civil engineering, but I've also picked up a job as a head research analyst at an engineering firm, which is really cool. I also recently joined an engineering fraternity, the oldest and largest one. Ooh. Shout out.
What's it called?
It's called Theta Tau. It is the largest and oldest engineering fraternity, and I joined this semester.
Very cool.
But I think that's all I have, and the food smells delicious.
Yes, I do believe that our wing order is up. We should get to that. We don't want them to get cold.
Indeed.
Listeners, no matter what your preferred method of transportation is, you're still space.
Indeed, you are still space. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Pale Blue Pod is hosted by me, Dr. Moiya McTier, aka the universe's bestie. I created the show with original co-host Corinne Caputo, a comedienne extraordinaire, and help from the Multitude Productions team. Our theme music is by Evan Johnston, and our cover art is by Shay McMullen, and our audio editing is handled by the incomparable Misha Stanton. I am Go Astro Mo everywhere online, and you can stay in touch with the show and the universe by following Pale Blue Pod on Instagram or checking out our website, palebluepod.com. We are a member of Multitude, an independent podcast collective and production studio. So if you like Pale Blue Pod, you will love the other shows that live at multitude.productions. And if you want a shout out on the show and research notes for every episode, you can join our community over at patreon.com/palebluepod for just about $1 per episode. Thank you so much for listening to Pale Blue Pod. I'll be back next week. Bye.